Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over the trades that we took inside the Discord as well as the game plan going into tomorrow. So today, man, today was a textbook day. This is what, the system does. I mean, it was so easy to read the market today. As you guys know, yesterday, the market did flip bullish. Why? Because this 10 went above the 50 on the call side. Obviously, we didn't get a continuation move up because the move was so extended. So, we ended up pulling back yesterday. We tried to buy the 50 dip on the 0DT call chart. It didn't work. And, today we made up for it. So, we got that continuation move higher today. We got the pullback and we got the move up here. So, in my eyes, there was no reason to short at all today. There was zero reason because we are trending bullish. You don't want to fight the trend. And when you look at these other time frames, man, we were so bullish it wasn't even funny. So, tossing shorts on the table when the 1 hour is crossing, and we got the 2 hour crossing as well. With the 2 hour 50 is sloped up super hard. I mean, there was zero reason to be tossing shorts on the table today. So all we did was long. So how did we catch this move higher? Well, you guys know the 0-day chart is where we get our entries from. So 5-minute time frame, the trade of the day, this is all you needed for the day, was the 0-day cross on calls. I go over this so many times, but the best trade with the system is taking a 0 DT cross in the direction of the 30-minute trend. So we know the market is trending bullish because that 30-minute chart is crossed on calls. So our best trade to look for is a call cross, and we got that a little bit after 10 o'clock. You could see 10 went above the 50. Your entry would have been on this candle right here at like 10:15, I believe. Colton called this out in the Discord. If I could find it correctly, when did he call this out? Yeah, so 10:21 is when he called it out. I mean, very, very simple. Is on this next candle open, the 50's up, 10's crossing the 50. Very simple trade, and this thing went like over 100 points until the 10 SMA broke. I mean, when we got this leg up higher, I'm pretty sure that was like 100 points on NQ. So it was very, very simple day. The only other trade you would have looked for was a 50 dip. We never got it, so is what it is. We did drop to it later in the day, but I mean, I wouldn't even take that. And if you did, you could have honestly stayed in this trade even though it did close below. That next candle, sometimes it does this. Sometimes it closes right below and the next candle is right, above it. And then it wicks off of it and continues higher. But, it's so late in the day, wouldn't even really take that trade. But all you needed was this 0DT cross on calls. This like setup right here is like super confident. Like this is the most highly probable trade that you could take with the system. Is very easy, and all we're doing is playing across with the SMAs. Like, we're not charting anything, we're not drawing fair value gaps, we're not drawing anything on the chart besides just watching two SMAs cross for the entry today. It's very simple, in my opinion, best way to trade. And we know, like, the great thing about the system is we know when we could expect reversals and when we could expect continuation. Like a day like today, I would not expect a reversal at all because we know the 30 minutes crossed. We got back above the 10 SMA on the 30, the 1 hour is crossing, the 2 hours crossing. Like, there's no signs of a reversal coming, and that's what's great about the system. There's no other strategy, in my opinion, that will give you the precision in terms of trend and when we may chop around and knowing when the market will move most likely. So that's what we did today. Going into tomorrow, again, a very simple game plan. We know the market's bullish, so that's our focus. So 0-day cross on calls. A 50 dip on calls will be the trade to take as well, because the 0-day chart might already be crossed, so it's probably going to be a 50 dip type of day tomorrow. So if we come down to the 50 SMA on the call side, we're going to buy that dip. Stop loss below the 50. Obviously, we know the 50 SMAs of it's a super key pivot on the 0-day chart. So that's the best opportunity to grab a dip buy in a trending market, and that's the great thing about the system, because you could have someone that holds the entire day and be up 500 points, let's say. But with the system, we know exactly when to, we buy the cross and then we close once it breaks the 10 SMA, and we wait for a 50 dip. I know sometimes you won't get it, but a lot of times we do dip down on the 50. You buy the 50, and then you just ride the trend until the 10 SMA breaks, and just repeat the process. So you could end up squeezing out more points than someone that is just holding the entire day, because when to exactly sell and when to buy back. So yeah, that's what we did today. I mean, it's just a textbook day. If you were red on the day, probably not trading the system, because the system gave a clear as day entry right here. This is like a full port type of play. I never, obviously, don't full port, but the conviction on this type of trade is just through the roof. Probably my favorite setup to take. 0-day cross in the direction of the trend. It's very simple. No other strategy out there like this, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I got. If you guys want to learn, join Discord down below. There's a ton of information there. We have plenty of hours of recorded streams that Colton's done in there for you to watch. So a ton of past charts, of how to take these trades, how to take the 0-day cross, and all that. So there's a whole section for that if you do want to learn in depth. There's a section for that, but I mean, with the YouTube videos, with the Discord, I mean, there's a ton of information on how to trade the system. So that's my speed. If you want to learn, drop a sub if you're new. I'm out. Peace.